There is a skill every human once had. It kept our species alive for 300,000 years, and in the last 100 years, we lost it completely. Not because we chose to, because we forgot we ever had it. The skill wasn't strength, it wasn't speed, it wasn't even intelligence. It was the ability to read the natural world like a language. Ancient humans looked at the sky and knew exactly what weather was coming. They read animal behavior, like a newspaper. They looked at soil and knew what grew there. They smelled the air and knew how far away water was. Every sense they had was tuned to the world around them. They didn't have instruments. They didn't have satellites. They had something more powerful. They had attention, deep, total, unbroken attention to the world they lived inside. Modern humans have almost none of it left. We check our phones an average of 96 times a day. That is once every 10 minutes of waking life. Our attention has been shattered into fragments so small we barely notice, but our ancestors couldn't afford that. A lapse in attention meant death, so they developed something scientists now call nature literacy, the ability to read the living world as fluently as you read text. And it wasn't just survival, it went far deeper than that. In 2019, researchers at the University of Exeter studied indigenous communities still practicing traditional land reading. They found something extraordinary. These communities could predict rainfall patterns days in advance, using nothing but cloud shape, wind direction, and insect behavior. No instruments, no satellites, just decades of unbroken attention. The lead researcher called it accumulated ecological knowledge. Knowledge so deep, it had become instinct. Ancient humans tracked animals across hundreds of miles of identical terrain. They followed trails invisible to modern eyes, a bent blade of grass, a disturbed patch of soil, the direction a spider rebuilt its web. Aboriginal Australians developed one of the most sophisticated navigation systems ever documented. They memorized entire landscapes as songs. Every hill, every waterhole, every tree, encoded in melody. They could navigate thousands of miles of desert using music, not maps. Music. The Polynesian navigators of the Pacific crossed thousands of miles of open ocean. No compass, no instruments. They read the stars, the waves, the color of the water, the behavior of birds. They felt the ocean swell beneath their boats and knew exactly where land was. Modern sailors with GPS get lost in harbors. These navigators crossed the largest ocean on Earth, by feel. So what happened to us? The answer is simple and brutal. We outsourced our attention. First to written language, then to maps, then to clocks, then to machines. Every time we built a tool to do our noticing for us, we noticed a little less ourselves, and the skill quietly faded. Neuroscientists studying this call it cognitive offloading. When a tool handles a mental task, the brain stops building the circuits for it. Use GPS every day, and your spatial memory weakens. It is measurable. It is documented. It is happening right now, inside every one of us. But here is what makes this more than just nostalgia. Studies show that people who spend regular time in nature with focused attention show measurably stronger memory, lower cortisol, faster problem solving, deeper sleep. The brain was built for this kind of attention. It runs better when it gets it. Ancient humans weren't just surviving. They were operating at a cognitive level most modern humans never reach, because their attention was whole, undivided, pointed at the real world, not at a screen, not at a notification, at the actual living, breathing world in front of them. That skill is not gone forever. It is dormant, waiting, inside every one of us, because the brain that read the sky 10,000 years ago is the same brain you're using right now. It just hasn't been asked to do that in a very long time. And maybe that is the real thing we lost, not the skill itself, but the habit of paying attention. Because when you pay attention, really pay attention, the world starts talking back. It always has been. We just stopped listening. And maybe it's time to start again.